Welcome to Becky's Homestead. In this episode, we're going to talk about what homesteading is. We're going to talk about oil lamps, and we also have a question from Erin Darby in Spring Hill, Florida about chickens. So let me touch on what homesteading is. I've had a couple people ask me what that means, and it means so much, but I'm just going to start and touch on the beginning of it, which would obviously be your home and your land. Basically, what you want to accomplish with homesteading is being as self-sufficient as you can. Not having a mortgage is a great start and a good place to start. Start small would be my suggestion. A 2 or a 3 room house and possibly 1 or 2 acres. Obviously, if you have 6 kids, that might not be big enough and you might have to go bigger. But if you start small, you can always add on later. And once you live in a small house, you're going to be so happy. You won't want a big house. And if you don't have a mortgage and you can become more self-sufficient, possibly you could quit that outside job or maybe just work part-time. If you need a little help in maybe getting more information about homesteading, there are different ways. You do have to do a little research so you can kind of get your bearings before you start on your own homesteading adventure, but it's really fun and you won't regret it. One place to get a lot of information is this magazine called Countryside. They do talk about a wide variety of things, and it does help you kind of get your bearings before you make your move or make any major decisions. This one, has the fruit and vegetables on the front of it. The other one did talk about homeschooling a bit, and it just goes on and on and on and on and on. So that's a really good reference and a great magazine to look into. Right now I want to talk about oil lamps because they're so nice and I like them better than candles. They burn longer and they're contained. There's different kinds of oil lamps and I'm just going to quickly tell you a few things that I've learned about them. This is a nice little oil lamp. It's up on a pedestal. It's obviously all glass and it looks nice. This is more like a camping style oil lamp that you could bring in and out of your house. You could, it has a little top on it, so even in the rain it works. So this could go out to the barn or the shed or whatever you need to take it. An important thing I did learn about oil lamps is only fill them halfway with oil. I don't know why, but my instinct was to fill them all the way up to the top with oil. That does not work well, and especially in this kind here, they'll leak. I don't know how they leak, but they don't work good and they leak. So don't fill them all the way up. Just fill them not quite halfway up and you should have no problem with them. I'm going to tell you how you light an oil lamp. This kind here has this little circle knob thing here, and what that does is it adjusts the wick. And I'm going to turn it just so you can see the wick come up. Here, I'll take the globe off. I don't know if you can zoom in on that and see that wick. When you turn this, the wick comes up, and then when you turn it, it goes back down. So once you learn a little bit about them, you'll know where to adjust your wick because that adjusts how big the flame is. Well, we got rained out, so here we are inside. Like I said, you have to take the globe off to light it, and then you're going to adjust the wick a bit. You don't want it sticking above this, but you do want it up enough to where you probably can't see that, but if you were here you could see it. It's sticking up enough. My match broke. Okay, and since obviously there's oil on the wick, you just literally touch it right to it and it lights right away. Now you can see the flame is kind of high, so when I put the globe on, that's going to be too high. So I'm going to turn it, and you're going to see how the flame gets bigger when I put the wick up. So I want to make it smaller, so I'm going to suck the wick back in so you can get it the right height, and then I'm going to put the little globe back on, which I didn't get it in here right, like that. Now, I'm not sure how bright that might appear on camera, but if it was a dark in here, you can turn it up just a little bit like that. You'll kind of learn how to adjust it and what you need. I'd rather not have it too high because I don't want the globe to turn black and have to clean it all the time. Okay, and then like that, and then if you want to blow it out, what I do is I just stand up and blow in the top of the globe and it blows right out. We live in Florida and the power goes out a lot, and of course we also have the threat of hurricanes every year, so I recommend oil lamps as an alternative form of lighting opposed to candles. They burn longer, they're safer because they're contained, and they give more light than a candle does. We have a question from Aaron Darby of Spring Hill, Florida, and he wants to know why his hens aren't laying eggs. I can think of two reasons from my experience with chickens. The first being they're just maybe not getting enough to eat in a wide enough variety. Chickens are little pigs, actually, and they do eat a surprising amount of food. I'm going to quickly run through a few things that you can feed your chickens to get good egg production. You can buy laying crumbles, and those always work well. But on top of that, you can buy a 3-grain scratch. They can eat cracked corn. They can eat oats. Things from your house that they can eat are pasta, rice, and bread. They can eat vegetable and fruit scraps or peels from when you're cooking. They like small kibble, dog food, and cat food, believe it or not. And any like cereal that's gotten old or whatever, you can throw it in the coop. Another point of getting really good egg production is building the cubbies so the chickens can crawl in there and lay their eggs. They need to be 2 feet off the ground, and it just needs to be a little square wooden box of some kind. And the chicken needs to be in private when they lay their eggs. They like that. They don't want to be bothered by anybody, so they like to get in their little cubby and lay their eggs in peace and quiet. So I suggest in the beginning, especially, building a little coop for your chickens and putting them in there for maybe 2 weeks straight. Then if you want to, like I do, is I let them out when I feel like it, and they eat bugs around the yard, and then they go back in there at night. Okay, thanks for watching Becky's Homestead, and we'll see you next time.